Hey y'all, AB3 here. Before we get started with today's show, I just want to give you a couple of updates on the greatest hunting app that there is right now. Of course, I'm talking about the Onyx Hunt app. I have it. I don't go into the woods without it. Onyx Hunt, man, that application saved me so many times. I want to tell you about the wind and weather. We all know that plays a big part in what we do, how we decide to hunt, where we decide to hunt. And when you have the Onyx Hunt application, you can see hour by hour forecasts for wind speed and direction. Check it out for the next 8 days, any spot that you hunt on your map up to the next 8 days. That means you can plan ahead, kind of like how they said in the AT movie, plan ahead, amigo. You can do that when you got the Onyx Hunt app. Weather updates coming from 100,000 weather stations, refreshed every 15 minutes. Large, intuitive visuals make it easier for hunters to identify weather patterns, make those in-moment decisions, switch it up, kill those big deer, kill those big elk, get after those ducks and geese, making quick on-the-spot decisions, man, to help you be successful. Trim tracks, man. If you got the trim tracks, you can easily get to and from your stand. Sometimes you forget to turn your trim tracker off. Now with the trim tracks, you can trim those extra steps, get it down to a precise, direct route in and out of your hunt area. Onyx Hunt, know where you stand. Make sure if you don't have it for your Android or your iPhone, it is available. You can also use it on your browser. Web maps are available. Whatever you choose to use, just make sure you're using Onyx Hunt.
From Stone Mountain, Georgia, this is the Bryant Land Show. Hosted by proud Gamecock and South Carolinian AB3.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy New Year's, because it's on the way. But hopefully you are enjoying the holidays. On this Monday, it is Christmas week, or depending on where you from, it might be Christmas. That's how some people say it. But either way, it is the holiday season. It's a time to be happy. And thank you for joining us for another episode of the Bryant Land Show. We're glad that you are here, knocking down the doors to the end of 2020, getting ready for the Christmas holidays. And in doing so, we have another wonderful show for you this week. Hopefully you will definitely enjoy it and listening to this while you're either trimming your Christmas tree, maybe you're out getting some hunts in, whatever the case. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our podcast. Before I get into my guests today, like I said, it's Christmas season. We're always, excited about Christmas, all these other things. For you late Christmas shoppers, if you have not finished getting your Christmas gifts, just a couple of things to think about. Couple of gift ideas that you can definitely use as far as, getting great gifts for the person that's in your life. So I would start out by saying, can't go wrong with a bow. That definitely, for the hunter or the huntress in your life, even for the child that you want to introduce to bow hunting, that is always at the top of my list. You cannot go wrong with getting a bow this time of the year. Shotgun, rifle, again, another great gift. Always, I encourage it. You know, if you got someone, maybe it's time to replace that old shotgun in the middle of duck season or, goose season. Maybe you want to get them a new shotgun for turkey season coming up in the spring. New rifle, after deer season ends in certain parts of the country here in the next few weeks or whatever. There's always hogs, that you can go after with a rifle. So that new rifle will definitely be a great Christmas gift. Maybe a new pistol, new sidearm. So you can't go wrong, like I said, with a firearm. You can't go wrong with a bow. Grills, definitely can't go wrong with that. Pick up a nice grill for that special person. I'm all about giving really good gifts, stepping out of the box. So these are some things, maybe even a subscription, subscription to your favorite hunting magazine, maybe a subscription to Onyx Maps. You can gift that from the folks that Onyx Hunt. Cheap plug, not so cheap, but letting you know. Those are, some things, like I said, that would be great gift ideas. They're out of the box, yet practical, and it should make the hunter or huntress or even child in your life happy. As for my guest today, Brandon McDow, Sam Houston State University alumni from the great state of Texas, considers himself as an amateur outdoorsman. Brandon is someone that I came across. I thought he was a really interesting fellow. We had a great conversation, just talking about video production, filming, stuff like that, getting into some hunting. He's a new bow hunter, new to the bow hunting game here. So like I said, Brandon and I got a chance to talk. We had a great conversation. And without further ado, I'm going to move on out the way and let you hear my conversation with Brandon McDow here on the Bryant Land Show.
Bryant Land.
Brandon McDow, welcome to the Bryant Land Show.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, for sure.
Man, so how's it going out there in Texas? It is cold and rainy right now here in Georgia. What's it looking like out there in South Texas?
Well, today we got a little break. It's still cold, but the sun's out today. The past couple of days have been just raining and dark and gloomy and just cold. It's made it hard to, get up and get that morning workout in, but we try to do it anyway.
Tell me about it. I was very much thinking about going deer hunting this morning, and then I saw what the weather forecast was going to be, and I was just like, you know what? I think I'm going to tap out on it today. I can give it a try either tomorrow or the next day. But, man, this weather will definitely grab you in a hold and won't let you go sometimes.
Yeah, it is. But it'd be pretty good hunting here. Finally this is probably like our first good cold weather. So it probably got the deer on their feet and trying to like move around and finally get some rut action this way. It usually happens pretty late for us down here.
I was about to say, yeah, because y'all have, it's always so funny because y'all have like more like a December rut, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And it's so crazy that the industry and just like what people talk about, and when people think about the rut, it's always like November. But like here in Georgia, I mean, it's a little bit November, and then, there's a lot of people, folk legend, that there's a second rut in December down here in Georgia. Alabama, I think, is not till like January, February. Mississippi is late in December, but all anybody ever talks about is November.
Yeah, pretty much. But down here, it's late. As soon as it really needs that cold weather to get down here for it to really get them going, I guess.
Now, like I said, one of the things that drew me checking out your profile and checking out your stuff, the amateur outdoorsman. What do you consider, like, it's funny because I've never heard anyone really refer to themselves as an amateur outdoorsman. Like you hear newbie hunter or like, late onset adult hunter, stuff like that. But why do you classify yourself as an amateur outdoorsman?
I would say because I've grown up in South Texas, you kind of where I grew up, I was always around hunting. Like I got to hunt a lot, hog hunting stuff. I had a lot of friends that ran dogs and coon hunting and all that kind of stuff starting out. But I really didn't get to deer hunt or like big game hunt, I guess you call it.
Hmm.
So like I've always been around it. Like I've growing up, I hauled hay, worked cows, and all that kind of stuff. So it was like we always got to see big deer in our area every now and then when we were out there. But I never really got to hunt them. I actually didn't shoot my first deer until I was 24. I think I was 24. So although I was around it all the time, I really didn't get to, participate, I guess, and get to shoot anything. But like I said, I got to hog hunt a lot and hunt coons and kill coyotes and all that kind of stuff.
Well, the hog hunting is always something that is a favorite of mine because that was the first animal that I ever killed hunting. And you talk about not killing a deer until you were 24. Try not killing one till let's see if I do math on the fly, which I hate, 35, 38. Yeah, I was
Yep.
38 when I killed my first deer. So
Yeah.
you still got a good head start on me. And
Oh
then
yeah. No, I mean, by no means. I was pretty blessed to grow up in the area I did. I mean, we were 45 minutes from saltwater, so we bay fished a lot. We have redfish, trout, all that good stuff growing up. And then, like I said, the places we got to work on and haul hay and stuff, like we got to see all kinds of wildlife. I mean, we have white-tailed deer, hogs, javelina, dove, quail every now and then. I mean, it's a great place to grow up. Like I would never pick anywhere else.
it sounds like a lot going on down there. What was the thing that I guess made it click for you that was like, okay, you know what? I want to get into like deer hunting and get, into more big game hunting. Was there one experience? Did somebody just take you out and you was like, "Oh, this is it?" Like what
Well,
was the catalyst?
the whole time, like I said, growing up, I mean, that's what you dream about. I mean, you live down here and you hear about big South Texas deer. I mean, that's always been something I wanted to do. It's just and don't get me wrong, I got to go deer hunting a couple times, but I never got to take a deer.
Hmm.
But like I said, just growing up down there, it's Texas. We love deer hunting. It's like one of our biggest industries, and that's always a goal is to shoot a big, wide, tall South Texas deer. I mean, even people from other parts of the state have leases in South Texas for a reason.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It is on the bucket list of things that I want to do. I've hog hunted in Texas. I was supposed to turkey hunt in Texas before all the COVID stuff happened, so that kind of put a kibosh on that earlier this spring. Hopefully, I'll get to do it next year. But yeah,
Yeah.
you are right. That is definitely a bucket list thing for a lot of hunters. Definitely a bucket list thing for myself. Uh, was it with a gun or a bow or
The first deer I shot was with a gun.
nice,
Yeah.
nice?
I,
Now,
I
oh, go ahead.
I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
get it. I didn't get into bow hunting until actually I've been a fan of bow hunting, but didn't start actually shooting a bow until like July, August of this year.
Ah, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So COVID kind of helped me in that sense to give me something else to do, I guess you could say.
Better now is just as good a time as any, right?
Yes, sir.
What kind of bow you shooting?
So I have a Matthews solo cam. I actually got it from a buddy of mine. He got a new bow and he had this one laying around and he was like, "Hey man, I know you were like thinking about it, but you can shoot this one for now until you decide if you want to buy one or if you're really into it or not." So I started shooting that bow. I wasn't like I said, it was my buddy's and it's given to me, so it was pretty nice. I
Yeah.
didn't have to go out and pay for one like my first round, but I've been shooting it and I've liked it. It's, I mean, like I said, I haven't compared it to many others, but it's worked for me, so I can't complain.
Yeah, no, hey, man, that is one of the things about shooting a bow. It's like once you find one that's comfortable or you get comfortable with it, then it's not something you do a lot of tinkering with, man. Once you
Yeah.
get that level of comfortability, you just kind of roll with it. I'm the same way with mine. I bought a Halon 6. Well, my first bow was a bear cruiser, and once I decided that I was going to stick with it, and I really enjoyed shooting the bow and wanted to be a bow hunter and become a better bow hunter. I went and got a Matthews, and it was funny because I shot about 3 or 4 different types. You go to the store and you get to shoot all kinds of bows and stuff. And then when I shot that one, it was just like, okay, this works. And the more and more every year that I shoot it, it's just like, man, I can't imagine. I guess it would be almost like golf clubs or anything like that, or like baseball players with their bats.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to do or want to use anything else but that. So
Definitely, definitely. That's kind of how I feel with my shotguns.
I saw a few of those wing shoot pictures, and a couple other pictures you had with your shotgun as well. I know you said you sometimes you get some quail and stuff down there. You duck hunt a lot down there too.
I have not gotten to duck hunt yet. It's on my list, but like I was in 4-H and FFA and stuff in high school, and I actually shot competitively, trap and skeet and all that stuff in high school through 4-H, and then I shot a little bit for a year in college also. But yeah, like shot wing shooting, bird hunting. It's something I really really love, but gotten to do like limited amounts of. Like I've gotten to go dove hunting, but I haven't hunted quail or ducks yet, but it's definitely on the list.
Wow. Now you were on the shooting team at Sam Houston.
Yes, sir.
Wow. How was that? How did that go?
I was actually it was an experience it was a lot of fun, but I actually didn't shoot until like my last semester, my senior year, because I graduated high school in 2010, but I went to school for a little bit and worked and paid for school and all that kind of stuff, and then
Yep.
quit school for a little bit. But I finally wound up getting back in, and it was just sitting around in class one day, and one of the guys that was on the team was saying that they were having tryouts for it, and I was like, man, I used to shoot in high school, and I was like all right, but I'll just give it a shot. So I went to the tryouts. They were like 3 weeks away, which I found out. So I went for the next 3 weeks, probably like 3 or 4 days a week at the range here, and we're like shooting again. And went to the tryouts. I wound up making the team. Went to nationals, which was an experience was awesome. Just being around that many shooters again, it was a lot of fun. Reminded me a lot of like how it was shooting in high school and stuff. And shot pretty good for such short notice on it, but I shot a 93 in skeet, 88 in trap or something like that, and I was trying to look for my score, and I had to like go back a couple pages to find mine. There were a lot of people that shot straight hundreds and 99s and 98s that I just wasn't at that level, but it was a lot of fun. I love shooting. I still get to go to a couple shoots here and every now and then for like different organizations that I'm a part of. So it's a lot of fun. I like doing that a little bit more than golfing, I guess.
Yeah, well, I like any of that better than golfing. It was funny because that's how I got. People always ask me, it's like, well, what made you decide to pick up a bow? And I was just like, well, I got tired of playing video games, and I knew that I would never golf because that was just not my deal. But um, the shooting, to be able to do it competitively, man, that's always a skill that I admire. I mean, I dabble a little bit in skeet shooting, duck hunting, and I've killed a turkey with a shotgun. So, killed lots of geese, a few ducks with it. But it's something that I found, at least for me, it's like if I step away from it for a while, it takes me a little bit to get back into a form and get back into being, a really decent shot. And that's a decent shot, not even a great shot, decent.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I mean, I remember like we had practices in high school where we shot 5 days a week. in the summer before we went to state. So the few days that I got to warm up, you'd say definitely wasn't enough to really go and compete. But like I said, it was a lot of fun, and just going and shooting and being outside is enough for me. So
Yeah. And, and I think too, and I've said this before, I don't think people who didn't grow up in the South or went to school in the South understand how we would be able to learn and how to shoot, like shotguns and stuff like that in summer camps or summer programs or school. Like I can still remember going to high school when people or when kids drove like their parents' trucks or whatever, and they had a shotgun rack in it, or the shotgun was in the back.
oh yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I learned how to, shoot first shot a shotgun when I was in a summer camp, and we had a guy that would come, every week from the DER or DNR, and would come teach us a hunting class, basically, like outdoors and hunting safety and all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the program, we got to shoot shotguns. That was like our reward for finishing
Yeah,
the program. Like people don't understand at an early age how you're introduced to guns and stuff if you didn't grow up in the South or grow up in a rural area.
definitely. I mean, I think kids today definitely kind of lack in that area, and it would be like a helpful tool for a lot of things. But like you said, I didn't grow up in the area where we got to have guns when we went to high school, but every
I
now
was
and then,
I was about to say
every
you're
now
a
and
little
then,
younger than me.
yeah, every now and then somebody might forget one or something, or you went dove hunting before school or something like that. But we really didn't. You didn't get in trouble for it. They might tell you, hey, you need to call your parents, tell your dad or something to come pick it up, and then we'll go on from there and don't let this happen again. But it,
Right.
it definitely isn't like it is now. And I mean, I went to a pretty small school. Like my graduating class was 118 people, so I pretty much went to school with them from pre-K and kindergarten all the way up. It was pretty much the same people, and I mean, we got to run around on pieces of property and be outside. So it taught us a lot of responsibility, definitely, because I mean, we'd leave in the morning and just hang out or run around, and then we'd come back when it got dark. I grew up in the middle of town, so uh, I didn't have my personal family. Personal family didn't really have any like property or anything, but I had a lot of friends that did, and I was pretty lucky in that fact for sure.
Definitely, definitely. So picked up a bow in you said what June or so this year, basically over the summer.
Yeah.
Have you? I know that you've been out hunting with it because I've seen the video, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But have you? Other than that, have you had a chance to kill anything with it yet?
Not yet. That was the only thing. That was my first attempt, and I was successful. But that was the first thing I've shot with it.
Nice, nice. So the video that I'm referring to, and again, you can go and check it out. Drop your Instagram real quick so people can check that video
So
out.
it's at McDow MCDOW _ Brandon BRANDON.
So if you get a chance, go look at it, and you sitting there, and deer comes in, pretty standard affairs, kind of hanging around, hanging out, and then you go and you draw back, get ready, take a shot, and it seems like almost instantaneously, as soon as you release that arrow, that deer ducks. The arrow goes completely over the deer, and then so basically it kind of like jumped the string, as we say. What did that? And I know you posted about it, and you was just like how great of an experience it was and stuff, and how it was a great learning experience. What did you learn from that?
So I mean, like I said, I've been a fan of bow hunting, so I've heard of this happening, but to the degree that I saw it, I didn't really like understand. And I mean, also like so practicing up for this shot, I was practicing. Probably the shortest distance I practiced was like at 25 yards, and I was shooting at 30. I actually got up to shooting where I was at 40 yards, and I was putting like a decent grouping together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this deer comes in at 17, and I've been shooting at 25. And I mean, having to figure out where I was going to put my 20-yard pin on this deer at 17 yards was a little bit different. And I knew like I shoot like I knew it was going to be kind of high, but I just didn't compensate as much as I needed to. And it was, like I said, it was definitely an experience and a learning curve for sure.
Man, you hear about certain things in the woods happening or when you're out hunting, and you talk about hearing people talk about jumping the string. I've never
Yeah.
seen it, but watching your video and then seeing it firsthand, I can't imagine what it was like to sit in the blind. And it was probably definitely a WTF moment when you
Yeah.
let that arrow go.
And I also understood too, and I was like, I could see like a deer jumping a string a lot faster, like at 35 yards, where that distance is there for that arrow to get there.
Right,
But I was at 17, so I was like, it shouldn't be that bad. But
right.
it was a little bit more than I expected.
I mean, like I said, just to see it, I can only imagine. Like I said, just sitting there and taking that shot, letting it go, and then thinking it's gonna be good, and the deer just gives you the slip, like whoop, time to get out of
Yeah,
here. It's
she was gone.
man, and it because it's funny. Like I said, when you see it firsthand, it's one thing seeing it on video or hearing it on video, but to be there for it firsthand is a completely different experience. Like I have always, worked on my grunt cadences and my grunt calls and stuff like that, and you see people on TV like grunting at deer and whatnot. But like I had an instance on one sit a few weeks ago where there was a buck. He was coming down, and I was grunting at him, and I stopped, and he started grunting back, and it just blew my mind. It was almost like, well, what do I do now? Like, because
Yeah.
I have never had one respond. It's almost like the first time I went turkey hunting and they started calling and you calling turkeys, and then they gobble. And it's like, okay, what's next? Like,
Yeah. What
what's
do I do now?
right? Like, and you still don't see them. Like, it's one thing if you see them and they're right there, and you can take a shot. But he was still off in the brush, and like I could hear the brush rustling, and then it caught me off guard the very first time because I was like, okay, well, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And then he did it again. I'm like, duh, dummy, it's the deer. Like, but you just not, like I said, until you experience it firsthand, it completely catches you off guard.
Definitely. You definitely try to prepare in your mind, and try to replay all those situations you think they're going to happen, but when it happens, it's a completely different story.
Yeah, that moment, that moment of truth when it comes down on you. Let me ask you this: what kind of sight are you using?
So I'm using a 4-pin sight. I'd have to look at the brand. I'm not even real sure what it was, but I'm just using a 4-pin sight, and I have it set at 20, 30, 40, and then the 50-yard pin. Yeah.
Gotcha. I will tell you this, and I am by no means any expert by any stretch of the imagination. I can only tell you stuff that I've experienced firsthand. I started out with the 4-pin sight when I got my first bow, and then I went to a single pin adjustable.
That's what I've been hearing.
Man, single greatest thing I've done since I've been bow hunting. Like
Definitely.
legit. Like it clears your sight picture, and then the adjustments on the side for like the different ranges. And I don't know about you, but for me, the thing I hate the most about working with a bow or fooling with a bow is trying to sight it in. Like it's a long, tedious process. like just trying to get it. And if you want to, you want to try to get it down exact, obviously, so you can be accurate.
Yeah.
When I did my one pin, it's like you sight it in at I think like 40 or 50, and then you sight it in at 20, and then from there on out you're good. And
Huh.
so you just adjust it. So like even say like if I'm hunting and I know like the range where I want to try to shoot this deer is at like 24. Now I can be exact and dial it to 24 on my on my slider or whatever, or I'll just set it to like 25, 26, and I know like anywhere in I should be good. Same thing like if it's like 20, or 30 or whatever, you just kind of set it, excuse me, and then anywhere from in you should be all right. I'm telling you, if you get one and you start playing with it and just doing little exercises with it and shooting like targets and stuff, you'll be like, why have I never had this before?
Yeah, it's definitely something I've heard a lot of people talk about. Just the people I follow on Instagram and stuff, and then some of the videos I watch on YouTube. But it's something I'm definitely gonna try out and actually give it a shot, rather than just say oh, it's not for me or anything like that. But
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people you'll make a suggestion, or people will talk about products that they have never touched and will be quick to oh, that's a piece of junk, oh, that's a piece of crap. Like,
oh yeah, I've heard it about just about everything from the hunting industry to cameras to anything else. So I definitely try to at least try it out, or at least do my research on it first before I make a decision.
and that's actually a great segue when you talk about cameras, because your bar MC Media, first of all, what kind of cameras are you shooting with? Because with me being a television director, I'm always interested in the equipment and stuff that people are doing. And then what all are you doing with your bar MC Media?
So I have a Panasonic GH4 right now that I personally shoot with most of the time, and then my girlfriend, who also owns the company with me, shoots with a Canon 7D Mark II, and then we have
Yeah.
a Canon XD40 camcorder that we use, and then I also have a DJI Mavic Pro, and then a bunch of GoPros, and then we use our cell phones for the 4K and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So we try to use everything that we can.
I like that though. I like that because what people don't understand is like the way they make cameras now. It's kind of like you start from your big to small. Your girlfriend's got the Canon, the 7D, and that's a workhorse. You got the camcorder. You can do, things you need to do with that. But then where the fun really kicks in at is when you can take those GoPros and those action cams and kind of move them around and put them here and
Definitely.
put them there and get different angles. Take your phone, and people underestimate. They're like, okay, well, if you got like this big Canon or this big Panasonic or whatever, you got like a GoPro and you got this and that. Why do you need a phone, man? Sometimes the best shot and the shot that you need can be just as simple as placing your phone or taking a picture with your phone or putting your phone in a certain spot and running the video, and you'll be surprised at some of the stuff that you can capture. Like, just
Definitely. And even for the fact too, if you really want to, you could set it there and get audio off of it.
right, exactly. That, to me, that level of creativity is what makes it fun. And then when you introduce a drone into the picture, you got the big boy. I still got like the little small DJI, and I've been kicking it around and trying to find a reason to justify getting the big drone. Hadn't quite gotten to it yet, but man, you got some toys, so that's awesome. So now, what are you doing with all those toys? What does Bar MC Media do?
So basically, how it started was my girlfriend had her own photography company, and she had been taking pictures since high school. It was called Simply Photography by Megan, and we were when we were dating, we lived at this place at a community, I guess you would say. It was like a U shape with a bunch of duplexes, and it had a barn and a roping arena. And we had a bunch of friends that roped out there, on a regular basis. And she wanted to start taking pictures again. So I was like, this is a good place to start. And growing up, we've always been in the Western industry. Like I grew up around a bunch of people that rodeoed and roped and had moms and stuff that ran barrels and all that kind of stuff. So that's always something we both enjoyed. But she started taking pictures there, and then she got invited to do a couple team ropings around there in the area, some calf ropings, and people started actually liking her pictures. And I mean, she's really, really good. I mean, I might be a little biased, but she's a pretty good photographer. But
And when
so
and I don't mean to cut you off, but when you're talking about like the barrels and the roping and stuff like that, these are all events that are at the rodeo, right?
Yes, they're all events that are at a rodeo, and I mean, you can the PRCA, the PBR, all that, and bull riding too. We shot a bunch of those, but she started doing that, and then right about this time, I was finishing up school, and my degree's in agricultural engineering and technology, so I had to write a paper, and then I also had a minor in marketing. So I had to write a paper about an emerging technology in agriculture, and my topic was drones. So I wrote a paper on it, and then found out that you could, get a commercial license and do like some surveying and just documenting of job sites and stuff like that with it. So I studied and I passed my drone test. And at this point, I was kind of flying some properties for real estate for like family, friends, and like different people, and then just practicing. I mean, I made a video in Goliad of our courthouse, and then we have some missions from the Texas Revolution that are in town. So like I flew that and got to make a pretty cool video. But these people from the team ropings and stuff started asking about video, and did we do video? That's what a lot of people were asking for. So we didn't at that time, but it was like something that we thought we could kind of, get into. So I went and bought that Panasonic GH4. And actually before that, I mean, I filmed a calf roping with just my iPhone and a DJI gimbal.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And edit it. And that was like the first video that we tried making. It was a lot of fun. It was difficult, but it was just pretty much made me like want a camera. Like there was stuff that I would see that I couldn't do with my phone, but I knew if I had a camera, I could do.
Right. Yep.
So that kind of sparked it to where like, okay, Brandon, you need to buy a camera. So I bought that camera, and we got to shoot my hometown rodeo. That was one of our first like big kind of videos. And it was just like, we're going to be there. I mean, I haven't missed that rodeo since I've been alive, except for this year because it got canceled by COVID. But we shot that video, and a lot of people liked it. It got shared on Facebook a lot. And then a lady approached us to do a event here in Bryan called the Seth Brazier Memorial, which is for her son who passed away. And they have a calf roping, a team roping, a ranch rodeo. It's just a really big event. And we shot that, and that video was like one of the ones that really got shared a lot. And we started doing that, and then we got invited to do PBR events and some cutting horse events. I mean, pretty much anything in the Western industry that we can cover for media. I mean, that's kind of what we do. And then we take pictures, like I said, video, and try to make like highlights of events and stuff like that.
Man, that's awesome. And just to have that entrepreneurial spirit and to recognize, you start out at, the basics, like with your phone and whatnot and a gimbal, and then to grow it into what you're growing it in now, man, that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, it's been challenging, but a lot of fun for sure.
Definitely. And then you mix that in with your Texas farm and ranches as well. What's that, man? You got a lot of things going on for a young man your age. That's pretty cool, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. But the Texas farms and ranches kind of started as like I said, I grew up in agriculture. My degree's in agriculture. Like that's a big part of I guess what like makes me, I guess, and the things I've learned through that.
Sure.
So I always have an appreciation for it. So I started that page because you see a lot of stuff on the internet and on social media that like bash farming and ranching and the people that do it and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of started that page as like sharing the good side of what I see and try to get more people to see that rather than just, commenting something negative on a page that just wants you to comment on it anyway, that's bashing farming and ranching. So I just decided to start that page and as something to just show the good side of it, the things that I get to see and other people get to see in Texas, because it is a part. It's a huge part of our economic basis and everything in Texas. So for that to be looked down upon like it sometimes is, like I wanted to do something positive for it.
Well, that's commendable. First off, secondly, I don't really know how anyone could have anything negative to say about farming and ranching like this. Like honestly, I'm not kidding. That's a new one to me. I've never knew that anybody could have something bad to say about either of those because I mean, hell, if it wasn't for farmers, a lot of us wouldn't be eating.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Number one,
Exactly.
and then ranching, is just an extension of that, especially if you're talking about cattle ranching or grain farmers, raising pigs, whatever the case is. Like I just I'm lost for words how
Yeah.
anybody could have anything bad to say about that.
Yep. And I mean, it's the same thing you see kind of in the hunting industry. I mean, you have people that, say, how could you hunt that animal and how could you shoot that? But they'll post a picture of them eating a steak. Like, I don't understand
Like,
why you see, like, how you see there's a difference there. We're both eating meat. It's just I choose to, participate in the essential, I guess, death of that animal where people just buy it from the store. And I mean, you see it all the time. It's like, why do you hunt? We have grocery stores, and I've seen the comments now. Whether they're just bots or something, put on there to make people get riled up, I don't know. But
right.
there's there's the comments are there.
Yeah. Like I've seen the ones for, obviously for hunting and stuff. I mean, I get all kind of crazy stuff. Like why did you hurt the animal? What did the animal do to you? What, you know, mm, how I think my probably my favorite one was I posted a picture and some lady commented just like, why do we have to see this? And it's not even somebody that's a follower of mine. So it's like you really had to go out your way to
Exactly.
find this picture.
Exactly.
And she was like, then one of her friends jumped in and was like, yes, it's terrible that we have to see this during tea time. And my comment to her was, I hope a bird shits in your tea. I was so, like, I know they say you're not supposed to like engage with the trolls and whatever, but I
It's
just,
it's it's fun. You got to get a little fun in sometimes,
yeah,
especially.
and that was just that day. She caught me on the right day, but
Yeah.
it is crazy, how you see people that not hunting, but like you say, we'll turn around and have like a steak or a pork chop or whatever. It's like it's like I know where mine came from.
Yeah.
Are you 100% sure about yours?
Yeah. And I
And
mean, and like you said, it's those people. I mean, they're set in their ways, and that's fine. I mean, if you don't want to hunt, that's perfectly fine. Like that doesn't bother me one bit. If
right,
you don't want to eat meat, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't bother me one bit. That's more for me. Thank
right,
you. But
exactly.
just don't try to make me have to believe what you believe.
Right. I'm totally with you on that. But wow, like I said, farming though, man, like I really can't begin to understand what would go into a person's mind that has something bad to say about farmers, man, especially with everything that's going on nowadays. But whatever, so be it.
Yeah,
So
I just think it's just the lack of education. I mean, people really just don't have to know. They
right,
don't. It's not something that's right there in their face that they have to learn about. But they still, I still believe that they should have some understanding. And I mean, even if you don't know and you want to know, just ask questions, man. Like just ask questions and try to learn,
right,
and that'll be better than just assuming.
right. They're making an assumption.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what I said. What that page is for too. Like, if somebody, like I had a lady comment the other day on a post that she didn't. I can't remember what it was, but she didn't know something, and then that her seeing that post, she learned that what I posted about, and I was like, you know what, like that's pretty good. Like you don't really hear it that much, but like her comment and say, well, thanks, for that information. Like that was pretty cool to see.
Right. To know that you educating and enlightening, maybe opening someone's eyes to a thought process that they hadn't never processed before or something.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. And anytime you can do that and score that as a win for the good guys. So,
Definitely.
man, with basically, so you got your personal page, and all the hunting and stuff that you do with that, and then these other two pages. Are you looking to kind of take a dive in the hunting industry a little bit? Do you do it?
That's kind of what we've been doing. Seriously, since COVID happened, a lot of the rodeos and stuff we didn't get to go to because they were canceled. So we were just trying to figure out like what we could do to pass the time. Like what could we film? What could we do to produce content just to keep our business and our brand going? And we had the opportunity to go on a couple hunts in the spring. Went on a black buck hunt. My buddy shot a black buck on this place, and I got to go film it. And then we had some buddies in Louisiana, who's also the guy that shot the black buck. Is friends with them. He met them when they were hunting in Africa, but they came and they wanted to hunt turkeys. They're real big
Nice.
turkey hunters, and I mean, to tell you the truth, here in Texas, a lot of people really don't hunt turkeys. A lot of people actually deer hunt turkeys, if you would call it that, because we're allowed to shoot them with rifles in the fall.
Okay.
So
Wow.
so a lot of people really don't take turkey hunting serious down here. But they came in the spring and they wanted to call and run and gun and all that kind of stuff. And we were like, well, shoot, man, I've watched a couple turkey hunting shows.
Hmm.
To be honest with you, it wasn't like I said, where I grew up, it wasn't just a big thing. But I was like, you know what, we'll run around with them and try to film it, try to get something on camera. So we did, and man, to tell you the truth, it was a lot of fun. Like a lot of fun. We hunted for like 4 days, and we got on this one turkey like the second day, and we actually missed him 2 times, and then finally got him killed on the last day. So it was like a really cool experience, and we got to get it all on camera and film it all. We didn't get the kill on camera, but just being in that atmosphere and what we did, the footage that we got was pretty good, and it was just a lot of fun. And then in turn, since they came and hunted turkeys, we went offshore fishing with them, out of Louisiana, out of Grand Isle.
Oh
So
wow.
we went tuna fishing and caught red snapper and all that kind of stuff. So we kind of traded off on that, and that was a lot of fun. So that was kind of like our segue into like filming and and taking pictures of out hunting and stuff. But like we're a part of both my girlfriend and I are both part of like Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. We volunteer there, and we're on the Ranch and Wildlife Committee for them, and we do a lot of stuff through that with kids and outdoors and stuff. So it's always been like something we thought about doing. We just hadn't had the opportunity to. And then, like I said, with all the rodeos and stuff getting canceled, it kind of put us in a position to really try that out with some opportunities to practice and stuff like that.
Man, that's awesome. That is awesome. I know, like I've done some filming for myself. Like when I went out to Nebraska, went turkey hunting out there. Uh, Caught some goose kills, on my Tacticam and stuff like that. Man, filming wildlife and filming in the outdoors, filming hunts and stuff. It it's not. what's the word I'm trying to say? It's not as good as actually going out hunting, but it's probably the next best thing.
Oh, definitely the next best thing. Like, just like I said before, just being outdoors, period. Any chance that you can get to be outdoors is a good thing.
Yeah.
And then being able to film it and film somebody get that kill or, like, catch that big fish, like, that's even better.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that so if you any chance that you get to do that and to continue to grow that and film hunts and stuff, man, I wish you the best because that, like I said, that's the next best thing. If you can't be sitting in the blind right there waiting to release an arrow or pull the trigger, man, to be right there with the camera and to capture, the emotion, the excitement, and to be out there just filming the animals and just looking at how they interact and studying them and stuff, man. It's all a wonderful thing.
It is, it really is. I mean, I wish, somebody would have told me that when I was in high school trying to figure out what I was going to do. It'd be a little different. You grow up watching all the hunting shows and stuff, but like nobody ever really and like you see the guy in the hunting show, right? Like the main person.
Yep.
And everybody wants to be that guy. And everybody like always, well, it's too hard to be that guy. And everybody forgets about the camera guy, the sound guy, and whoever else, the production crew. Like they're still there too in that hunt and
Yes.
still seeing the same exact things. Nobody ever talks about them.
Yep. Yep. It was funny because one of the first people that I talked to when I started doing my podcast was Jordy Summit from Buck Commander and Strut Commander, and I was talking to him, and he's like, whenever I go and I talk to kids, it's like, well, it's like, if you want to be, the camera guy, or you want to be in the hunting industry, it's like, do you want to do it because you think you're gonna hunt all the time? Because if that's the case, then you don't. It's like if you think you're going to be the star, you want to be, hunt all the time. Then that's not, the reason you want to get into this, because they go out and they hang stands and hang sets and stuff, but they're hanging them, for different reasons, to get in, get in the right position for a good shot, or be in place to capture the right things, and it's just like all the work and stuff that goes into it. But
Yep.
man, you're right though. Like you don't really hear too much about the camera guy unless that video a couple of years ago that went viral where the one guy cussed his camera guy out because
yeah.
like it's like, oh, now you want to put the focus on the camera guy.
Remember that I'm
here. but no, man, it is fun. Like I said, having a TV background and just working in live television, it is definitely a refreshing when I get to step back and do some stuff on my own and get to film some of my hunts, or be out and get to take pictures, or shoot some of the animals and stuff like that, and even just to get out to play with the different cameras and come up with different scenarios and where to put cameras, and playing with cameras in the wild, maybe the next time you go on a hunt and stuff, like all of that, man, just that creativity and just mixing the outdoors with it. Like I said, it's a great thing.
Definitely. It really is. It's like you said, it's a lot of fun. And then still, like for the rodeo side, it's like when we go to PBR events and stuff, some of the bigger ones, it's like some of these guys I've been watching since I was a little kid. Like the first time I got to see like Ty Murray and like walk by him, like we're in the same place. Like,
Right.
It's people that I've watched on TV for so many years, and then I get to be like behind the shoots taking pictures of them, or like even still, like if you take a picture of someone like that, like for me, and then we post it, we'll tag that person in, or tag their page, and like they'll come and like that picture. Like that's cool enough for me right there. Like for somebody that I looked up to for so long, like something that I did of them,
Right. So that's another level of gratification, and another level of just, it's like, all right, I'm doing this. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like this is where I'm supposed to be, man. And anytime you can get that reinforcement, that's also a good thing as well.
Yes, sir.
Man, so Brandon, before I get you out of here, what is, I guess my last question is, what's next? Like what are you looking forward to as we winding out 2020? What are you looking forward to for next year and coming up?
Um, just seeing what comes. We got a couple things on the books, or trying to get on the books, I guess. I might be trying to go to Missouri next month and might try to shoot a whitetail there. Um, that'll be an adventure for sure. Um, and then planning on doing some turkey hunting in the spring and trying to get that going and maybe film to actually get one on camera, a kill on camera this year. But we got a couple events like for Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo that we're trying to work through with all the COVID stuff and plan. And we put on a clay shoot for kids, and then we have an adult clay shoot as a fundraiser. So trying to get that planned out and stuff to, make that happen so we don't have to like give up anything that we were going to give to the kids or anything like that. But just trying to find every opportunity that I can and take advantage of it pretty much.
Awesome, man. Well, I know I wish you the best of luck. I'm looking forward to following your pages and seeing your work and seeing all the stuff that you're doing. So from one creator to another, man, I wish you the best and thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, no problem, man. I enjoyed it for sure. Hopefully I can come back on again and talk some turkeys maybe.
Hey, let's book it. That sounds like a plan to me.
Sounds good, man.
All right, now. Happy holidays, bro.
You too.
Bryantland.
One more time, thank you to Brandon for coming through, blessing us with his presence. Make sure you go and check out his social media platforms that he's got. My man is doing some big things out here. Before I get ready to get out of here and start enjoying the Christmas holidays, enjoying the last part of 2020, I just want to remind y'all to go and check out BryantLandCountry.com. It is our website, BryantLandCountry.com. We got everything. If you need a last-minute Christmas gift, we got those too. If you type in the code BryantLand, 20% off. You can do that at our shop, BryantLandCountry.com. We got past podcasts. We have videos, everything that you need. Make sure you go check out our website, BryantLandCountry.com. Want to say thank you and Merry Christmas to the folks at Onyx Hunt. They sponsor our podcast, #1 mapping technology in the world. Know where you stand. Make sure you check it out. The folks at Onyx Hunt. Also want to say thank you and Merry Christmas to the folks over at Traeger. We are a Traeger ambassador. We will be putting some meats on the Traeger grill for Christmas dinner, and want to say thank you and Merry Christmas to those folks as well. Last but not least, also want to say thank you and Merry Christmas to the folks over at Irish Setter Boots. They have supplied boots for us for the times that we've been able to get out and hunt, do some things on the land. Big thank you, big shout out, big Merry Christmas to those folks over at Irish Setter Boots. Man, I hope y'all have a great Christmas. Eat a great Christmas dinner, fellowship with family, stay safe with this COVID hell that we're in, but make sure you guys just enjoy the holiday, get a chance to hunt if you got some time, get some hunts in, and make sure you come back next week for the final episode of 2020 of the Bryantland Show right here.